Yananai, nai, lai, lai. Yalalai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, dai. Yai, lai, nai, dai. A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. Adonai restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So, we come here today to celebrate the life and mourn the passing of Stephen Louis Levine, Shmuel Moshe ben Moshe HaKohen V'Perel. We're all shocked, but we're all grateful to have been with him, to be with him and Chi-Chi, with the family. Obviously, these very walls hold his presence and hold the family's presence. So, apparently, Steve was not fond of long, drawn-out anything. My instructions are on the short side and sweet. So in honor of Steve, I will try to make this short, knowing that there is so much to say about a man whose 82 years made a difference to so many people. There are two words in Hebrew, or actually a preposition and a word, because I see Elaine is here, that I think are some of the most important words for us as Jews. L'chaim, to life. No matter what happens to us, we respond, at least in time, with an affirmation of the goodness, the joys, and the blessings of living. Steve knew that blessing. It was the blessing of family, of friends, and of community. Of his parents, Morris and Pearl, his brother Elliot, and his wife Linda. It was Chi-Chi and David, and then Elizabeth, and then Benjamin, and all those that I'm sorry I haven't mentioned, but know you're here. It was the blessing of the organizations he served, Temple Bethel and the Cedars, and of his and Chi-Chi's close friends. It was the blessing of those fellow amputees that he mentored. Steve lived the blessings of life, despite life's challenges. Around me, he was quiet, unless he wanted to share an opinion, or a kind word, or a smile. I love the picture you chose to share with us. That's the person I think of when I walk into the sanctuary or into the small chapel for services. I suspect he hated these chairs, but he still smiled as I walked in. I also think that he had a wry sense of humor shared with those closest to him. Really, his smile was infectious. And as he and Chi-Chi would sit in the back, I could see them both talk and laugh a little bit. When I think of Steve, actually of the Levines, and Chi-Chi as well, I also think about our Czech Torah here on the Bima, donated by the Levine family in honor of Morris Levine. That donation, honoring his father, Pearl's husband, tells not only their love and dedication to family, but of the family's dedication to Chaim, to life, even amidst tragedy and loss. Its presence on this bima and all the other volunteer work that he did is a testimony to his dedication to the community and to family. Indeed, Steve was a devoted brother and son, husband and father, grandfather, uncle, and friend. Even when he lost his leg to cancer, as awful and frustrating and painful as it must have been, he set his eyes on living and on helping others. He persevered and he paid it forward as he helped others to overcome their own losses of limbs. Steve was a mensch. It doesn't surprise me that two loving and giving people would find one another and remain married for almost 60 years. It doesn't surprise me that Steve and Chi-Chi would have so many friends and that we are mourning so deeply now. We are shocked at his passing, yet there is some comfort in knowing that he lived all the way up until his death, and that his essence, his neshama, will always be present. Even though he was quiet around me, his presence was always felt and will continue to be felt in these very rooms he walked in for his whole life. In the words of Sheldon Harnick, the words from Fiddler on the Roof, to life, l'chaim. L'chaim, l'chaim, to life. Here's to the father I tried to be. Here's to my bride to be. Drink l'chaim to life. Life has a way of confusing us, blessing and bruising us. Drink l'chaim to life. God would like us to be joyful, even when our hearts lie panting on the floor. But how much more can we be joyful when there's really something to be joyful for? To life, l'chaim. L'chaim, l'chaim, to life. And if our good fortune never comes, here's to whatever comes. Drink l'chaim to life. I have another poem that I wanted to read. That's called When All That's Left Is Love by Rabbi Alan Mahler. When I die, if you need to weep, cry for someone walking the street beside you. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands and souls touch souls. You can love me most by sharing your simchas and multiplying your mitzvahs. You can love me most by letting me live in your eyes and not in your mind. And when you say Kaddish for me, remember what our Torah teaches. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. May the soul of Stephen Lewis Levine, Shmuel Moshe ben Moshe HaKohen V'Perel be bound in the bond of life, and may he rest in peace. As I said, there's much more to be said, and will be said, and will be cried, and will be laughed, and will be remembered, and that's what the rest of these days are for. We gather today to honor him, to remember him, to be with a family, to support family, and then the support doesn't stop here. It continues. Following interment at the Temple Bethel Memorial Park, we do what Jews do best, which is nourish ourselves. A Seudah Havara, a meal of condolence, and that will happen at the Embassy Suites right there by the airport and by the Memorial Park. It's 1050 Westbrook at Westbrook Street. I don't know if you'll remember that, but an opportunity to be together and to speak more. And I don't know, the generosity of the family is wonderful, and suggests that should you wish to make donations in Steve's memory, that you consider the Amputee Coalition, and that's in the newspaper. You can ask us in the office. I'm sure we have that information, or a charity of your choice. And finally, Shiva will, because it's Shabbat, you know, I know the instructions, our tradition says that the mourning family does not have to do anything. We all do it for them. But I know this family, and sitting around and letting people help them is not high in their DNA. So friends will come by, I'm sure. The tradition is, because it's Friday, it's close to Shabbat, there's not Shiva tonight, because tomorrow night, Shabbat ends quite late. We're not having a minyan tomorrow night, but on Sunday, between 2 and when minyan is over, and minyan will be at 5 o'clock, a mincha minyan. Those of you who aren't Jewish, don't worry, it's nothing scary. It's short and an opportunity to pray together. But family will be there to greet friends and neighbors at their, I didn't write down your address in Gorham. Everybody knows that, yeah. So, you know where they live. So that's on Sunday, and an opportunity to kind of formally be together. The mysteries of life and death are beyond human understanding. We are perplexed and overwhelmed when pain and anguish befall those whom we love. In sorrow, confronted by death, which has taken Stephen Lewis Levine from our midst, we feel our own frailty. Like morning dew, we glisten for an hour or two and disappear into a new day. Ro'eh Yisrael, shepherd of Israel, guide us, your flock, with love and compassion. If in our grief and desolation we grow distant, do not abandon us, but draw us closer to you. Grant solace and comfort to those who mourn. May they sustain each other with the blessing of memory, the memory of the life their beloved husband, father, uncle, friend, Steve. In the valley of the shadow of death, beside the still waters and in the green pastures, you, Adonai, are our shepherd. Be our strength, our shield, our guide, and be our comfort throughout all our days. And let us say, Amen. There are not enough ways that we can extend our condolences to you, Chi-Chi, and to the whole family, David and Benjamin and Elizabeth. There just aren't enough ways, because you have given us so much. And in those moments when you feel pain and loss, call. Pick up the phone, go over to your friends, take out a mahjong tile, do whatever you need to do, because we all love you so much, and your whole family, and wish we could take away every ounce of pain. So if we can take away a 60th of it, we're doing what the Talmud has asked us to do. So we love you all very, very much. In conclusion, I invite you to rise as I recite the memorial prayer, and then we'll continue for interment at Memorial Park. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamsei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Ashchina, B'mahalot Kedoshim Utorim, Kezohar Akia, mazirim et nishmat Shmuel Moshe ben Moshe Kohen v'perol shalach lolamo b'gan Eden tehei menuchato ana ba'al rachamim Hastirehu b'seter kanafecha lolamim utzror b'tzror hachayim et nishmato Adonai unachalato v'yanuchu b'shalom al mishkavo v'nomar Amen. El Malei Rachamim, exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Stephen Louis Levine, Shmuel Moshe ben Moshe Kohen v'perol, who has gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that Stephen find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen.